right, this is advanced packing. Those of you who are already masters of the art of traveling light, you're dismissed, but I do need you to check back for the following training videos that I'll be putting up very shortly. For those of you who perhaps don't travel as much, or you're wanting to, out of perhaps curiosity, hear what I have to say about our gear and what to put in it, remember that you're allowed to take 2 items on board the aircraft. Your 22-inch or less rollerboard, your basic suitcase, or the equivalent in a backpack. If you want to lug it around, that's entirely up to you. I think you'll be more happy on this particular trip with something that you can roll, but maybe not. And you're allowed one personal item that must fit underneath the seat in front of you. It could be a briefcase, it could be a small backpack or day pack, large ladies' bag, something like that. If you have any question about the dimensions, check just about any airline website, and they'll be glad to give you some of the dimensions that you need to take into account. Personally, I prefer traveling with my rollerboard and a briefcase that has a strap on the back of it that I can just simply slip over the pull-up handle of my rollerboard. And that way it is easier and it makes it more secure. I don't have to worry about it falling off or somebody helping it to fall off. What always goes inside that personal item is very important. And the reason I say this is because every now and then you are obligated to check that 22-inch rollerboard. It could be that you're on a small regional aircraft, or it could be you're extending your visit. Some of the European airlines are very picky about allowing you to bring only one item on board. And by the way, ladies, if you have your rollerboard, your little big bag, and your purse, they're probably going to make you put your purse inside that bag, just an FYI. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do, but just be prepared for that. But never ever put into a bag that you're going to check or could be checked any of these following items: your passport, your contact supplies, your glasses, any necessary medications, your tickets, of course, any important documents, all money, and all electronic gear. Just remember, never ever put that in a bag that is perhaps going to have to be checked. And I would go through my billfold, remove any unnecessary credit cards that you don't need, or frequent flyer cards, membership cards. Why in the world would you just take more bulk? And don't forget that famous 1-quart plastic bag that all of your liquids and gels have to be in. Uh, in addition to everything that I just told you, here's some of the other stuff that I always put into my briefcase. Especially on a long trip, I'm going to take some noise reduction headphones. That's always a protection for my attitude when there is a crying baby or a loud, obnoxious person within earshot. Put on the noise reduction headphones and you're good to watch a movie, music, or doze, whatever the case may be. I put in some single-use toothbrushes that you can pick up at a drugstore, Target, Walmart. Yep, there is such a thing. Aspirin, rubber bands, always handy. A ballpoint pen to write with. But some of you, perhaps, who are either new at the traveling thing or you don't travel a lot, you're thinking about investing in a suitcase, or maybe you're saying, I don't want to buy a new suitcase just for a trip like this. What are my options? Seriously, if you're not going to be a frequent traveler, and if you're not really caring what type of a bag you have, any 22-inch or smaller bag that you can borrow from a friend, relative, or neighbor, or you can buy cheaply at a thrift store, Marshall's, Tuesday Morning, whatnot. Anyone is as good as the other, especially if you don't plan to check it or you're not going to check it any more than you have to. It'll be just fine, so don't worry about it. Just make sure that you understand what 22-inch really means, and if you have any doubt about that, again, visit an airline website and you can get the exact dimensions. Or here's the best thing to do: go into a travel store where they really specialize in travel and just see some of the many options that are available. Talk to someone who appears to be knowledgeable, and they will be glad to give you some information about that. And there's a gazillion YouTube videos that will do the same thing that I'm doing right here if you feel like you need some more clarity. One of the bigger items today is to decide between bags with spinners or bags with rollers. You know, the spinners, you've seen people walk down the corridor in the airport or somewhere, and their hand is just so elegantly draped over the handle. They're just kind of, the bag is floating beside them. Now, those are really cool, seriously. But there are some things that you need to consider. Number one, spinner wheels tend to come off more easy than the other type. They are also harder to get into a tight space. They're going to take up more of your 22-inch space, okay? Because those wheels count as part of your 22 inches. And finally, they're not going to stay in place on an incline. If you're on a tram or a train, anything is an incline, you're going to have to keep your hand on it all the time because they float so easily. So, pros and cons to that. And if you do get the bag with the regular wheels that you have to pull behind you, make sure that the wheels are the best that you can get. Really genuine inline skate wheels. You'll be satisfied if you do. And you might look at the handle system because a handle system on the outside is obviously going to give you more space inside the pack than one where the handle is part of the guts inside of the bag. It just makes it easier. And if I had to recommend a brand name, without question, it would be Briggs and Riley. And the reason for that, they don't pay me anything to say this, but I've used those bags for a long time. They hold up, they last. It's a good product. There are other wonderfully made bags, but the one thing about Briggs and Riley, they have an unconditional lifetime guarantee. Yep, no hassle. I've done this on several occasions. The zipper breaks or the airlines mess it up somehow. Take it back into any store that sells Briggs and Riley and say, hey, can you fix this? They take it from you, they send it off to Briggs and Riley, they call you in a week or so, you come and pick it up, and it's like new. It's a wonderful product, great customer service. A couple of other things to think about. Throw in a few Ziploc bags of various sizes. That quart clear Ziploc bag where your liquids and gels are, it may tear. Well, no big deal, you've got another one. Put in a Ziploc bag that is a 1 gallon size, and you have a washing machine to wash out your undies and socks in the hotel sink. In another Ziploc bag, put a little bit of laundry detergent, and so when you go to do your washing, take the gallon bag, put your stuff in it, add a little detergent, add some hot water, zip it up, shake it, washing machine. Take it out, rinse it, hang it up, you're good to go. I might want to mention that if you're worried about having room for bringing stuff back, I carry a fold up full size backpack that is about the size of my fist, really. Sometimes you can find those on Amazon or someplace like that. I bought mine for $15. Uh, or if you prefer, you can always buy a cheap bag wherever you're going. Yeah, you really can, just like you can here. So don't worry about it. There's other types of fold-up bags that take up no room in your suitcase. You can just kind of put them on the bottom, and if you need it, it's there. If you're going to go the compression bag route to squeeze the air out of some of your clothes, Eagle Creek is the best brand. It's quilted. It holds up. You can use it time and time and time again. Some of the cheaper varieties that you might get at Walmart or Target, they're going to be okay for a trip or two, but they don't tend to last long. I use Shacky Pack for my packing cubes. There's all types of systems. Find out what is good for you. You can get them for 25 to 30 bucks. Don't pay any more than that. It's not worth it. And let me tell both guys and gals, there really is such a thing as high-tech underwear. I know it sounds weird, but there really is. Ex Officio for men and women. It's a great product. It's well made. It lasts forever. And best of all, it's all synthetic material that dries out overnight when you wash it. Yeah, really, really does. They are odor resistant and all of that. And if you're a guy and you really don't mind paying outrageous prices, Tommy John's underwear makes a particular system called Air. Yep, AIR. It's the lightest weight stuff you have ever imagined. You can wash it out and really, you can just about blow on it and it's dry. It's not quite that, but it is freaking amazing how fast that it dries. And they're high-tech socks as well. I've used with good success Right socks or Smart Wool, and they both dry very quickly, but yet they provide some good padding, and they tend to be blister resistant. So those are some hints from the travel guy. Believe me, I've made all the mistakes, and I have learned with my age the lighter, the better, and less is more. If I can answer any questions, as always, please don't hesitate to ask.